as always.
Mike, I know you said that you're confident in the guys you have at inside linebacker this week to plan and replace Devin, but going forward long-term, are you interested in looking and exploring other options to bring guys onto your team?
Brooke, I can't see past lunch, to be honest with you.
I'm just trying to get a sandwich and some chips, That's what I'm trying to do. Anything he said, I would do it.
Anything.
I mean, within reason.
Yeah.
Right? That man right there, no nonsense. Appreciate it. All right, to the big news of the day, Miami Dolphins, the last 2 games, Ryan Fitzpatrick's got 6 touchdown passes, 2 picks. They've won both. They've won 3 of 4. They're a game out of first in the AFC East. They're making a change at quarterback coming out of this week's spot. Tua Tagovailoa will be making his debut as a starter. I don't get it. Fitzpatrick was always a bridge guy, sure. Obviously, they are seeing things in Miami in practice that we will not ever see. But Fitzpatrick is adored by his teammates. He's playing well enough to give him a chance every week. Just feels like there is no feel, like there was a plan all along that this would be the week. Come out of the bye and just, it's his show. As for Tua
Tagovailoa,
Ricky Rose, Miami hoping to get the Alabama version. The touchdown interception ratio in SBS history was the best, 7.91. Was the highest touchdown percentage all time. His first start will come 351 days after dislocating and fracturing his hip in November 16th against Mississippi State. At the time, Tua owned the best total QBR in the country, ultimately finished second behind Joe Burrow. Despite an inability to work out at the Combine, he did host a virtual pro day in April before being drafted 5th overall, becoming the first left-handed quarterback drafted in the first round since Tim Tebow in 2010. This past Sunday, late in a shutout win over the Jets, Tua made his NFL debut, completed a couple of passes, including a 7-yard completion that moved the sticks. So Tua's debut as a starter will come against the Rams Week 8, not the friendliest opponent when you consider that Los Angeles' defense is allowing less than 5.5 yards per drop back this season, the fewest by any defense this season. They're also allowing the second fewest yards per completion on the season, behind only the Carolina Panthers. We talked to Jeff Darlington so much about a season that we didn't know if it would happen. It's nice to talk, Jeff, about some actual football here. And as I just explained here, it feels like a move Miami makes where you're not reading the room, and before the season starts, you say, well, out of the bye, we'll just give it to Tua. But I know what I don't know, which is what he's doing every day in practice, and maybe he's lighting them up. And they just say, hey, now's the time. What's your sense of why, after a couple of wins in a row, they're going to go ahead and give Tua the keys to the car?
So, Scott, I understand where you're coming from, especially considering the fact that the AFC East feels wide open right now. It doesn't feel like this is a season that's simply being thought of as a developmental year for Tua. What I will say is, though, that Brian Flores has had a level of conviction, and not like the cliche head coach conviction, but more like, I don't care what you think conviction about when he's going to play Tua. And that's mostly been centered around questions after losses, where basically it's like, hey, it's time for Tua. The thing that I think is difficult to understand about Flores is that also pertains to after wins. Like, he is simply looking at Tua's development as the indicator for when he is going to play him. Not whether the team wins or loses, not whether Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert are playing well, not whether the fans are clamoring for Tua, but rather the development of Tua. And Flores at this point, whether we agree with it or not, because I'm sort of with you in the sense that I'm not there every day, I'm not certainly seeing him in practice, but Flores believes, regardless of everything else that's happening, the scores of these games, that Tua's time is now.
And he obviously knows that if there's a vet, you could say you're going to put the baseball hat on now and not have that vet tap out, it's Fitzpatrick. What's the sense of where this leaves a guy, Jeff, that, as you explained to me, is absolutely adored within that team room?
Right. And I do wonder how much that plays into it. Like, he knows, Flores, that he can put Tua in there and not face any issues in the locker room because Fitzpatrick is such a professional. I'm not saying that that's exactly the reason, but it is true. Fitzpatrick is beloved within this organization, to the point where I know there's been some chatter about, hey, will they unload? Will Jerry Jones go and trade for Fitzpatrick
right.
or whatever? The Dolphins, to me, don't seem like a team that's interested in unloading him. Honestly, I think that they perceive his value within this organization, even not on the field, as far superior to any draft pick that they might get. That being said, Jerry Jones is a maniac and might do something crazy and make them just go ahead and send him